Welcome back, WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. I have no idea how this segment's going to go. It is segment number 2. We're doing the Maryland Crab Cake Tour presented by our friends at the Maryland Lottery. For being our guest, Max is going to get a scratch-off ticket, as well as our friends at Goodwill, Window Nation, and most importantly, Restaurant Association of Maryland is Restaurant Week coming up in September. Max will be writing about that. Chris Pika has decided to hang around basically to referee this match.
No chance.
In the corner to my left is the defending champion of this program. When she comes on, she's movies, food. She's very, very wrong about Royal Farms Western fries. I try to patronize her and be nice that maybe one day I'll be Best of Baltimore again. The Best of Baltimore magazine is out. I have purchased tickets. I am driving back alone. I'm driving back from Ocean City during Mako alone to pick up my wife to come to the Best of Baltimore party that I'm not even the Best of Baltimore, although I think I am. And then we're getting up the next morning to drive back to Ocean City because I feel like your party is the best party of the summer, has been for 30 years, even the years that I did win, back when you were at the City Paper. And but I feel like not being able to throw a proper party, I'm going to feel like the plague's over when I'm at the Best of Baltimore party. So I'm coming back and going to Visionary Arts. And I love you, Max Weiss, and take over now. I'm going to get a crab cake.
First of all, I feel like you did win, like, what was it, as recently as last year. It's never enough for Nestor. He can never win enough. So I'm pretty sure you did win a Best of pretty recently.
I'm a winner. I'm nothing but winning.
It's literally never enough. If I gave you a Best of, then you would want me to make you, the best crab house somehow. So it's just never enough for Nestor. My other question to you is, did you score the VIP ticket? Because Lord knows he was texting every single person who works at Baltimore Magazine.
They weren't available.
Trying to get the
I'm going to give you the other $25. Just let me in.
Did you get it or didn't you?
I don't want the cheap booze. I want the good booze. I'm going to 31 breweries in 31 days this month, Max. I'm picky about my booze.
The whole party is VIP. I mean, yes, there is a VIP section, but
I'm driving from the Coastal Highway to go to this party.
See,
and I live right up the street from there. I mean, I literally can walk to the Avan from where I'm at.
Yeah, so the party, by the way, is Thursday, August 18th.
Plug.
It's at American Visionary Art Museum. It's our first time ever having it at AVAM.
This is the Best of Baltimore I didn't win this year, but I'm proud of you.
Jeez, it never ends.
I didn't even know I was going with that shtick.
Yeah,
that's fun shtick though.
But anyway, it's at AVAM, our first year ever. I'm just ignoring you as usual. It's at AVAM, our first year ever there, and I think it is such a great marriage of Baltimore Magazine and one of Baltimore's coolest museums. And I think this party, it's going to be a banger. These parties are always great. I'm
driving back from the Coastal Highway.
There you go.
What can I do to endorse?
There you go. Yeah,
what you're doing.
Enough said, basically. Yeah.
Well, I want you to meet Chris because, so you're wondering, who's this kooky guy from Locust Point hanging out at LP Steamers who didn't order a crab cake in the first segment, but we'll get him one too. We're at LP Steamers, by the way. They've been wonderful hosts. Bill's coming by and going to tell us the story of places like this that you consider for Best of Baltimore. I met Pike in my first day in media, January 1984. At the Baltimore News American at the corner of South and Lombard. He was my big brother at camp to show me where I peed, where the composing room was, where the morgue was. When they yell at me, go to the morgue, they're not looking for dead bodies, it's just a library. So I learned all the newspaper stuff from Pika, and he is the rare bird who's been all around the world with Michael Jordan and Michael Vick and the New Orleans Saints and the Atlanta Falcons and all this sports stuff, and he decided to move back to Baltimore.
We love that.
During the plague, move into South Baltimore, and he is a Best of Baltimore story unto himself because he came back home because he loves it so much. And the minute he came home, Orioles start winning.
Wow. Coincidence? You think not?
Not.
No,
Absolutely
not.
not. Wow.
Not.
Okay.
So at least you know who he is.
Okay, yeah. And I like that you call him Pika because that's such a guy thing. Like, women do not refer to their friends
Does
by
anybody
their
call
last...
you Weiss?
No, nobody calls me Weiss. I don't have a single female friend who calls me Weiss.
Does anybody call you Maxine?
Yes, they do, which is funny because that's not actually my name.
Oh, what's your name? I didn't know this.
Oh, I am absolutely not telling you my
come
real
on.
name. No, we're taking that to the grave, but...
If I told you my childhood nickname, which I hate. Do you even know my childhood nickname?
No.
You hate your childhood nickname?
I hate my childhood nickname.
Your first name is Nestor, which I imagine you got a little teasing for as a kid. Nestor.
1977, the long-eared donkey came out.
Yeah.
I was 9.
Oh.
You want to see the scars?
Oh, poor
I'll
baby.
start showing them.
Poor baby.
You know,
Okay.
but I had a childhood nickname that I abhor.
Okay.
And there's about 5 people in the world who use it just to really piss me off.
Can I guess? Can I guess it?
My middle name is Joseph.
Okay.
It is
So is mine.
based on that. Okay.
Joseph.
Okay, so I'll give you your.
No, I'm not telling you my name, by the way. We can play this game.
No. I'm not going to get your name.
Okay, thank
Maxine.
you.
She
Thank
hates
you.
that worse. Is that okay?
No, I don't mind, Mac. I kind of like it.
I thought you were a dude. I've told you this forever. I read
know.
your headlines.
A lot of people.
I saw her, and you read the city paper
Yes,
back in the 80s.
yes.
Her name was in it, and I always thought, I want to meet this Max guy.
Yeah, he
And,
seems
you
like a
know,
cool dude.
He seems cool. You know, I like his work. You know, he seems like it's like J.D. Solinger. I want to meet her. You know, I mean, or whatever, right? Or J.K. Rowling's him, or whatever. So I didn't know.
Right.
But so my nickname,
Okay,
I hated it.
Joseph.
But it is. People are going to say I know women with this name, and I know men with this name, famously. Okay.
Okay.
And there is a character. The only thing I want to do this month, and I want to talk to you about this.
Okay.
Billy Crystal is doing Mr. Saturday Night on
Right,
Broadway.
right.
Okay.
Yes.
Billy Crystal's character in his first famous role
Okay.
was this name.
What was that? Soap by any chance?
Ha.
See that I got
She's
that.
getting warm.
I got soap, but I don't think I,
I knew
know
this was going to be a fun
I
segment.
can't remember.
But
I
I
mean,
don't
I remember
know
the show,
what
but I
his-
don't know the name.
What is
There
name?
was a famous Cubs catcher with this name back in the 80s, Chris Pika.
Wow.
And now I'm giving something away on the air I don't want to give away. Chloe,
Josie.
no, that was the Pussycats.
Yes, it
no,
was.
that was the Pussycats.
I mean,
Josie and the Pussycats.
Josie, it would be
Remember that
would be a good nickname for you. Let's,
No,
I
no.
may just start calling you Josie. Just okay. No, I Joey.
one? No.
Am I in the ballpark or no?
Close. It's my mother's name, my maternal, and I hate it. And like 3 of my childhood friends just destroy me with it. So I know what it's like not giving a name away that you don't want to be called. Because once Pika hears this, and once
I
people
will
that
not
don't
do
like
that.
me, and they still do
Yeah,
listen.
you may want to just get to the magazine here and let's.
Oh, it's Best of Baltimore Month. Max Weiss is here. We are going to argue about movies and pop culture and best of and crabs and crab cakes. We've ordered crab cakes. We're at LP Steamers. It's all brought to you by the Maryland Lottery, Window Nation, our friends at Goodwill, and the Restaurant Association of Maryland. They give me a little truck. Best of Baltimore. I know people are going to say, what's the criteria? Max, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Tell me. I'll be better next year.
Well, can I clear something up because there is so much confusion about this? We have a readers poll
Okay.
that we put up online. People vote for. That is different. That's equally prestigious, but it's just a different thing from what you see in the print
Do
magazine.
people stuff the ballot boxes? I want to know. For seriously.
They do. They
And,
absolutely.
and like that, every time I've ever done anything online, and Pike will tell you this, Pike has been involved in my website from the beginning. I had really bad experiences with people stuffing ballot boxes. Literally.
They do. You know, we try to do, when we see it happening, we try to do whatever we can to stop it, but sometimes you can't control it, sometimes you can't 100% confirm it.
And
But
you want people to vote, but you don't want it to be fixed.
that, right. But part of that is, okay, so let's just say, now we're talking about the readers poll, okay, not the editor's picks, which we're going to get to in a second. But let's just say you own a restaurant. And let's just say you put a little card on the table that says, love us, vote for us on the Baltimore Magazine readers poll. Is that ballot stuffing? No. That's just a restaurant that had the
promoting,
foresight
sure.
to promote themselves and that have customers that actually are going to take time out of their day to go online and vote for that restaurant. So that is a beloved restaurant. So that's not ballot stuffing. On the other hand, that restaurant is going to have a heck of an advantage over the restaurant that does not do
Well,
that.
big is always better than small, right? And
Yeah.
social media plays into this,
Facebook
right?
Facebook posts vote
the
for
whole
us here.
thing,
Yep.
the whole thing.
Have all
So
the-
we can't really control it, but my general feeling is that if you can encourage and inspire your customers to vote, because even though it's really easy and quick, it's still, you got to go onto the website, you got to vote. They must be pretty loyal customers, and you must be doing something right. But what we have in the magazine is the editor's picks, and we have editors who are sort of saving string on this all year long. We have a food and dining team that they're doing They're eating at restaurants. They're
Same thing I'm doing this month. I go down to Hella's in Millersville and ate that egg roll, and I'm like, my God, that's the greatest thing I've ever tasted in my life. You know?
We have arts, reporters who are consuming the culture of the city, and we've got, a news and media editor.
I see this best radio show, WTMD's Baltimore Hit Parade. There you go.
Okay, you took that well.
Sam Sessa won?
You took that really well. What's wrong? Sam Sessa he's a
He's
mensch.
my dude.
He's
okay,
the
now
man
I know
is a-
why I lost. I
He's
understand.
an institution like
Now
Weasel,
I
but we won't
understand.
get into that with
The
TMD.
man is a mensch. Yes. So that's the way it works. We're thinking about it all year long, and this is sort of our annual report, if you will. And of course we're limited. We have a limited amount of pages for every issue, so not every great place gets in. But we really just try to sort of say this is what we loved this year and share it. Pass that on to.
Let me see some of this. 'Cause
to our reader.
This is available now. This is out, right?
This is out on newsstands.
Okay.
Yes.
Johnny Rad's Bar Games. Been to Johnny Rad's. Good pizza there. No
Right.
doubt about that.
Right.
What else are we doing here? Real News Network. Follow it. Baltimore Fish Bowl. Baltimore Brew. Baltimore Banner.
Yeah.
There's journalism going on in this town.
That's right. I'm pretty.
From 3 journalists here, right?
I'm pretty excited about that. I think that Baltimore will be better now that we're a 2-newspaper town, and
Who believes in it more than you? Being a city paper person.
Right.
Really?
Right.
Which I miss terribly.
and the Baltimore Beat.
Yes,
Which is
it started
now
this week.
out, so we're excited about that.
Everybody's excited about that.
Alternative newspaper. I think that as many news sources as we have in this town, the better. They're going to speak truth to power. They're going to keep people honest. And I kind of like the idea that there's almost this competition right now between the Sun and the Banner, because that's just going to make everybody better.
Well, we remember that. We met at the News American.
Yeah, when this was a 3-newspaper
and
town.
you remember that at the city paper when you're trying to beat the Sun and beat the News American and beat the Evening Sun.
Right, yeah. So I think this is only can be good for Baltimore. So I'm super excited about it. But of course, with Baltimore Magazine, we've sort of carved our own lane. Because what we do, of course, we have a wonderful website, BaltimoreMagazine.com.
Well, you were a first adopter there. You went to the web in a big way when I was trying to go to the web in a big way. I think you, Steve, everybody Mike Pleitelbaum, who I met through the web. He built my first website. Did you know this?
I did.
At Imagination? Did you not know this?
I did not know that.
See, but you guys were
He's
first.
the president of the magazine, by the way,
You
for
were
those
the
who don't.
first ones that in Baltimore that was doing food online, doing things like that when the Sun had a paywall.
Yes. Right. So, it was funny when we first started with our website, what would that have been? Early aughts, basically?
Yeah. 5, 6, 7.
We just took the content from the magazine and we just kind of plopped it online because we didn't know any better. Now we know. There's a lot of original content that is only online. We have sort of extended features, exclusive features, blogs, etc. So online is its own universe while also containing pretty much everything you see in the magazine. But the thing about the magazine is I love magazines, and I think some people just straight up love
it felt good touching it a minute
right?
ago.
They feel good. The paper feels good. The pictures are beautiful. We have an amazing creative director, Amanda White Isley. There is some of, world-class photography and design. And
Ron Cassie.
Ron
Yes.
Cassie, my wonderful senior editor, Lydia Williver, Jane Marion, so many great editors and writers. It's national caliber journalism that we think Baltimore deserves, basically. And that's why we're always getting nominated and winning national magazine awards. Am I laying this on too thick? But it's true.
Muller's not here. Please, indulge yourself. Pika, fill Muller's role and hold the magazine up, pull the card out, tell people how they can subscribe. That's what Muller does.
We love that about Don Muller. Don Muller is the biggest Baltimore Magazine fanboy, and we love that about him. But here comes.
Hold on, I need the little card out. Hold on.
Okay.
How else?
The article. I think
Save
the story you did
72%.
on Little Italy. Several months ago. Absolutely
wonderful.
loved
Chloe's
it.
coming.
Absolutely.
By the way,
I've learned
Chloe
one
has been
thing.
my summer intern. She's going back to school. I'm not eating these French fries. I'm going to tell you right now.
You're not?
That's broiled. This is fried. Which one do you want?
I want the fried.
All right, you get fried. I get broiled. All right.
Okay.
So the crab cakes will come. I just want to say this before we indulge into the crab cakes and this delicious looking.
I'm photographing.
So is Chloe photographing here. So Max Weiss is here. Chris Pika is here. Blog and Tackle. Max, of course, the editor-in-chief. I always wanted a title that said chief. Anybody could be a CEO or a president or a senior vice president.
But an EIC is special.
Chief. Chief Max Weiss. We're at LP Steamers, all brought to you by the Maryland Lottery, Goodwill, Window Nation, and our friends at the Restaurant Association. Reminding you, Restaurant Week for things like this, not so many French fries and whatnot. So listen, I want to apologize. I went a little hard on the Best of Baltimore thing early on, all right? And, I was really wondering who won and, my role in all this. Like, Pika, losing to Sam Sess is like when you lose to Duke. You just tip your cap. You know what I mean? Like, Sam didn't do anything underhanded or cheat. I don't think he maybe he stuffed the ballot box with those kids. It's those kids of his. When Sam was out on the pirate ship playing music in the middle of the plague, he held like a disco party on the harbor.
Right.
And my wife and I went down to the pier.
Yeah.
And there's video of me and Sam yelling at each other out in the water, masks on, the whole deal. And I think it's like a Michael McDonald song was playing or something. Sam does cool stuff. So I love Sam.
But I spent the entire first portion of this podcast trying to make the distinction between the editor's picks and the reader's poll. There's no ballot stuffing in the editor's picks. Sam was an editor's pick in the magazine.
I can blame you for that.
No ballot stuffing. That is impossible.
So here's where I'm going to get wrong with you. Before you start eating food.
Okay.
So hold on.
All right. First, he wasn't going to give me a crab cake.
Hold on. I'm driving back next week to go to your party.
Okay. Because
I didn't pay full price, but I paid 85% of full price.
I got here.
So let me just say this.
Yeah, okay.
I won last year, right?
Correct.
So you're going to say, you won last year. Isn't that good enough for you?
Right.
There was no party last year. I got screwed. It was like not having a prom if you're like a kid like Chloe, or not having a graduation and being able to, it's like, I'm a COVID best of.
Oh, man,
I didn't even get a plaque.
You didn't get a plaque?
No, I got nothing.
Okay, wait a second. You should have gotten a plaque.
I do not have a plaque.
I'll take care of that. We'll hook you up with
I didn't get party tickets. I didn't get honored. Sessa's going to take all the bows next week. I'm driving back from the beach.
Okay, well, just know that
You don't even like Western fries.
the plaque is the plaque is.
Eat your fries.
No, I'm gonna wait until it's appropriate.
All right, so here's what I want to say about the crab cake tour.
Okay.
Because people come up to me every day now,
Yeah.
Chris, and they say, "What's the best crab cake? What's your favorite? What's your number one?" They all want to know like the number one. Like, who's your best of? And I have to say, well, Sam Sessa, not me. You pick the best of.
He's never gonna get
this
over
is
this.
where I'm not going to insult the LP Steamers people or anger the Costas folks or the Fadleys or whatever and saying best.
Right.
But I will say this. I
Yes.
made 3 videos last night. I went to the Crab Queen. Are you familiar with her? Let's get familiar with her, okay? Let me get you familiar with her.
Crab Queen.
I picked 31 places. The Restaurant Association
I
picked some
do know
places.
her. Okay.
So Simone from Charm City Table told me, you got to go have her crab. And then a couple of people. And then you check Google and you see whatever. I went over there last night. I took that crab cake home. And no offense to the other 10 crab cakes I've had or the next 20.
Yeah.
But when you're eating a crab cake and you stop 3 times and you're like, damn, that's a good crab cake.
Wow.
When you've been eating crab cakes every day, you just want to say that, damn, that's a good crab. So that's not to say this isn't or that. But I've gone over the top about the Suicide Bridge crab cake, which I'm having again next week. And I'm going 20 miles out of my way on the Eastern Shore to get it for the 3rd time. That would say that's a best of candidate. That you come back and you have to have it again and again. I'm not looking to do best of. I love technique.
Yeah.
I love you have a fried one. My mother would. It's like, I call it a hockey puck. That's not to be
Yeah.
it's respectful.
No, I like
I'm
broiled
from
as
East
well.
Baltimore.
I kind of go back and forth between broiled. And then what do you put on it? Do
So-
you like tartar
Nothing.
sauce or do you like
see
Nothing.
Right,
What?
right.
A good crab cake needs nothing.
So
Oh,
last night,
stop
the
it.
Crab Queen.
Go
Where'd
ahead.
you grow up? Where are you from? You ain't from around here. Where are you from?
New York.
Okay.
I always think of you as a Baltimorean.
I mean, I came
When
there
did you eat your first crab?
probably 1989 or 90.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got socks older than that. So I didn't realize you weren't a Baltimorean. So what did you make of all this when you came here? I mean, the first time, did you ever crack a crab as a young girl coming visiting or something like that, or no?
My first time cracking a crab was at Ocean Pride Restaurant in Timonium. And
You didn't know what you were
I had
doing?
no idea what I was
Right.
doing. I needed like instructions from the waitress.
And you're a
I was
teenager, like
extremely
college?
right. I would have been in my early 20s.
Okay.
Maybe like, no, I would have been like 19. Okay.
So you're younger than me. Okay, cool. That's good to know.
We're about the same age. Anyway,
I always thought you were too young for me, but back when I was single, and I thought you were a dude. Go, keep going.
So anyway, I remember a few things. I remember that I was terrified of the lungs because she told us they were poison.
Oh,
and
every kid that happened to West.
That
Yes.
scared me.
Yes.
And I was confused by the mustard. I didn't know if I was supposed to eat it, if it was a defect.
98 Rock would always say, the station that eats the mustard.
Yeah, no. So, but I've come around, and also, it took me a long time to sort of master it, and I am not a master. I mean, there are people who can pick those crabs clean. That is not me. I'm kind of a lazy crab eater, but it's come to the point now where I can.
Do you prefer to have a crab cake or crabs? Or it just depends on the mood. Do you like to eat crabs, or do you think it's a messy, gnarly thing to do?
No, I do like to eat crabs, but in a way, it is the mood. You're absolutely right. It's more of the sort of the festive quality of it, the conviviality.
Pike has this beautiful little park where he lives right 8 blocks from here, and he invites me down, and the damn mosquitoes. You know what I mean? I'm not an outdoor.
Yeah.
I'm prissy about mosquitoes in general.
Yeah.
So anything outside, flies, I don't like any of that. But crabs to me as an outdoor thing when there's a breeze, it's the perfect way. No offense to being in a crab house or anything. I would rather eat them on the street than here if it didn't. But summer, it's 100 degrees.
Right.
So I tend to eat them inside. But with crab cakes, the difference is I've grown up my whole life. I thought everybody had crabs. Chris, I don't know how old I was. I had to have been 20 years old before I realized, they don't have these in Chicago, or they only have them here. And so I don't see it as an outsider thing. Every crab cake I ever ate in my life looked just like that one, fried like a hockey puck. My mom, we didn't have any money. We didn't have jumbo lump.
Yeah.
We had claw meat, special meat. My mom would J.O. it and Chesapeake it and celery and mayonnaise, mustard, Worcestershire, and she'd fry it flat and serve it with saltines, which we had proper, and mustard, yellow mustard, yellow mustard, right?
Yep.
So the way a crab cake arriving here in 1989 and probably being in more upscale or areas where it's City Paper, whatever you were going, that you would not have been to Essex and had a fried flat crab cake because it started to become Gucci.
To
do lump.
I
to
would say,
talk about filler. Filler's what makes it taste good. I hate when people say, I didn't know filler. I
would
hope
say
it has something in it.
the majority of the crab cakes I've had in my life have been broiled, right? Because the Fadley's is broiled, right?
Sure.
Yep.
No, that's lightly fried, actually.
Is it lightly fried?
Yes.
What about the one on Harford Road that I love?
Angelina's?
Coco's
is broiled.
That is delicious.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yeah. I don't know the last time I had a fried one. I'm curious to taste it, actually.
I love fried crab cakes because it's this crunchy, bacony kind of. Last night when I brought this crab cake home from the Crab Queen and we reheated it and my wife started eyeing it up. She saw me tweeting about it. She's like, hey. So she took one bite of it, and then she took another and a third. And then the part that we love, and I don't know about this crab cake, but a lot of places, I haven't even looked at we're at LP Steamers, by the way. Max is here, Chris is here. The bottom, see, bottom of I'm going to hold it up and just get hands on. This is a broiled crab cake. You can see on the top.
Yeah.
The way that the cool kids do it is they put either a little butter or olive oil to the bottom. So what I say is business on top, right? Party on the bottom, right?
Yeah.
So to me, my wife starts.
So it's the mullet of
She starts
broiled
hammering at the
fish.
bottom of that crab cake last night, turning it over, eating all the burnt, as my mom would say, crispy. That ain't burnt. That's just well done. So I like it crispier. I like it like that. If you bring me this is pretty on a plate until my fingers got all over it. If you see it in a brochure, it's going to be like this. But you ordered it fried, and I've loved you since I thought you were a dude. So, I've loved you that a long time. I love you even more that you got a fried crab cake on my watch. It's the way it should be.
Thank you.
Do you want to eat it? Are you going to rate it or all that? Or are we just going to eat it and talk about how good every crab cake is?
I would like to eat this.
All right, we'll get after
especially
it.
because of the so it's real fluffy inside, and so what am I? This is obviously cocktailed.
I'm going to have to ask Mr. Bill when he comes over here.
This is tartar.
This looks like some sort of remoulade.
This is that's a remoulade.
Okay, that's a remoulade. Okay, this is definitely a tartar. That's to me, tartar is.
I like tartar. I'm sorry.
Because you're from New York.
What? Why is that New York?
Tartar's for fish sticks, Pika. Would you agree?
Yeah,
with this?
I mean, growing up, it's like if you got a really good crab cake, you didn't need to have any of the sauces or whatever on there. I mean, that's to me that was the more
Oh, that's complex. You got a lot going on in there. There's a lot of flavor happening.
And when I lived in
this
New
summer.
Orleans, you saw crab cakes because we got crabs down there because all the crabs that come to Baltimore in the off season come from the Louisiana. So you get crab cakes that have all that on the side.
See, if you put Old Bay into the slurry, it takes a little salt on because of the Old Bay, and I call that an East Baltimore crab cake. A saltier, more Old Bay-ish, J.O.-ish. If it has that flavor forward, this is to me that flavor forward. This is an East Baltimore crab cake. Now, I would say the Gucci or Jumbo lump with the parsley and less filler, I call that more of a country club crab cake, more like a Pimlico crab cake. And I've had crab cakes with tarragon. I'm telling you, this crab egg roll I had down at Hella's was one of the most delicious. And it was the sauce they served it with was like a red pepper caper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Way more red than this.
The July issue of the magazine.
You're off mic. Yeah, you go ahead. That's
well,
fine.
because I was eating, so sorry.
All right.
So the July issue of the magazine, which we call Crabs: A Love Story, was just basically about how people in Maryland are so in love with crab, they'll put it in everything, right? So they'll put it in egg rolls, like you said. They'll put it in dips. They'll put
They're
it in
putting crabs
quiche.
on hot dogs now around
They
here,
put it
right?
in
I eat at the ballpark.
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Stuggies. Love it.
And you know, it's all good. I have no problem with any of it. It's all delicious. Crab is delicious. Now, where do you stand on, like, say, like a lobster roll?
My wife is from New Hampshire.
Yeah.
So anytime, I love lobster, and I love lobster rolls. She has a place up there, and this speaks to Baltimore, right? My wife's from Manchester, New Hampshire. The best lobster roll I've ever had in my life. You can Google this place. It's called Golden Rods, okay? It is literally, Pike, it looks like a Southern Coca-Cola barbecue shack. It is like literally, it's an ice cream dairy carry out. They make ice cream. They have soft serve, and they have a little cooler in the front. It's screened in. I don't know what to compare it to here. Like physically, maybe Chaps, maybe, but not a beef house. More of a hot dog, French fry,
Like a roadside
like
stand.
a roadside beach,
Yeah, I love that.
hamburger
Love that.
kind of place.
Yeah.
They always
And my
have
wife
good
says
food.
to me, I'm gonna take you 20 years ago. Take you to Golden Rods, get you. It's the best lobster roll I've had Gucci $30 off, whatever, like all that, and it's literally a shack on the side of the road in New Hampshire, and that's the beauty of the crab cake is that everybody makes it different.
Right.
And I had one on Randallstown last night around the corner that was as good as any crab cake I've ever had in my life. And if you ask me why, I would just say creamy, tasty, crab forward, fresh, prepared, slurry. I don't know what was in it, but it was just delicious.
So because that's what I was going to say. Like, I love lobster rolls, and you can get a good lobster roll in Maryland, but you can't get a great lobster roll except for, basically on the farther East Coast, New England type areas.
Why is that? Is it the mayonnaise, the celery? What is it?
But I was going to say it's the same thing about crabs. Like, you can get decent crab cakes out of Maryland, but you can't get a great crab cake outside
That's
of Maryland,
delicious.
right? So I kind of feel like the way that we are with lobster rolls, which I love, is the way, New England is with crab cakes. Like,
Well, your proximity to your seafood that you're putting on your plate.
Right.
Is it's not 4 hours away.
And
this is
it's right
family
there.
recipes and things like that.
This is me on the Eastern Shore next week. So I learned this last year, right? So if you break open a jumbo lump crab cake, and you see orange roe in there, like little orange, it looks like caviar. It looks like caviar.
Yep.
It's a female crab.
Yep.
Female crab meat is way sweeter. They
Lot less
generally, what you're getting in a crab cake is female meat because they process the females. They process the broken males or the smaller males.
Right.
The larger males and the pretty males are the ones that get plated for $120 a dozen, right? Yeah. So I've learned all about the industry. I'm going crabbing with Tony Conrad from one of your favorite places of Conrad Crabs.
Conrad's, yeah.
I'm going commercial crabbing 2 weeks from Sunday.
Wow.
Going snakehead fishing next Wednesday. But last year I went down at the recommendation of Fadley's. Nancy and Damie there said you need to go down and meet the Clayton family in Cambridge and see how they're pulling the crabs out and what they're doing and why it's $55 a pound, right? And then I had Ben Carden on, who's coming on next week, talking about J2B visas and pickers and how the crabs get picked in the meat. I would totally agree with the freshness part of this, and I experienced it. I went to Hooper's Island last year. People say, where's the greatest crab cake you've ever had? And this is, I got clients, I got people I love, but I went to Hooper's Island. You drive to the bottom of nowhere and keep going, and then you keep going past the Blackwater Refuge, past all the Harriet Tubman, everything that's down there, and you keep going. And I had a crab cake down there, and they brought it and put it to me on the plate. And the thing about it was very Bourdain. I'm convinced that crab was in the water that morning. That crab meat never went through a pickery. That crab meat was never in a can. It never was frozen, refrigerated in any way. Literally, I could see the shells. They have the oyster recovery. Shells as high as the salt mines over in front of the McHenry Tunnel. And I ate the crab, and I'm like, I should know why it's that fresh. Because the thing you always brag about, fresh and local, Suicide Bridge in Hurlock. You go to the Trump sign, the Brandon thing, and then the Confederate flag, and then right underneath it there's this delicious crab cake, and it was the same thing. You opened it up, and it was the roe. And it was so good, I went back 2 weeks later with my wife because I wanted her to have it last year, and it's so good I'm going back. So the places that you go back to, you keep going back to Faithley's because you love that crab cake, right?
Right.
And I think people in the neighborhood come back to their favorite places, and they're all different. And that's the thing I would tell you. I've had 100 different crab cakes. I've rarely had two. This is a saltier version of a country club crab cake.
But you know what Jane Marion, who is the food and dining editor of Baltimore Magazine, would say? You don't actually need to use Maryland crab to make a great crab cake because it's very hard to get Maryland crab right now.
It's expensive.
As you know, it's extremely expensive. And, you go to a restaurant and you find out they're not using Maryland crab and you're like, that's it, forget it, I'm out of here. The truth is, you can still make a pretty darn good crab cake.
There are places making
It may
a
not
crab
be,
cake here with Asian crabs. I'm telling you.
It may not be the
taste
best of the
difference.
best, but it's not a reason to turn on your heels. Because, to be honest, there's a lot of factors that go into making a crab great. And, the quality of the crab meat, obviously Maryland
Fresh
crab
matters,
meat
though.
is the best. No, fresh does matter, but you can still have a pretty... I'm
Venezuelan. The Venezuelan meat's delicious.
That's
it's
what I'm saying.
The closest to being Maryland.
I wouldn't leave a restaurant because they don't have Maryland
I wouldn't
crab.
either.
Because a lot of places don't have Maryland crab right now because it is so bloody expensive. So, anyway.
And
just
living in New
putting
Orleans,
that
I mean,
out
you
there.
get a dozen of jumbos for $22. Now, of course, they boil them, they don't steam them, but still to be able to get a dozen jumbo crabs in New Orleans for that kind of price for $22 or $24, I mean, that we did that.
Don't be
like
putting
every
that
week.
Cajun boil together, man. People boiling crabs. I don't even want to hear about all that. But this would speak to you being like a little bit from out of town, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
The Maryland crab meat really is the delicacy, and I could explain this from the salinity of the water because I've talked to a lot of people, and you can take I know you're a Diet Coke person. You would taste the difference between 0 and 2% and 2% milk and what. Like, we can all taste the difference. I could totally taste the difference with a fresh Maryland crab meat in season because it's sweeter.
You should do a taste test. You should do a blind taste test, and let's put that to the test.
Oh, is this
I like that.
That
idea.
would be fun.
Will it help my chances to win Best of Baltimore next year?
No. But
Max Weiss is here, Baltimore Magazine. I'm giving her a hard time. Tell me about the party that I'm driving all the way back from Ocean City and then all the way back at 5 in the morning back to Ocean City.
And you're going to give me the tickets if you can't make it back, right?
August.
Dude, he's betting against me.
You can,
Don't you, my friend?
You can still buy tickets, by the way. August 18th is the party, which is next Thursday at the American Visionary Art Museum. It's amazing. There's music. There's food. What
am I going to eat? What's going to be there?
A lot of the best restaurants that have either won Best Restaurants or Best of Baltimore, they have stands there where they're preparing food. And I would say the earlier you come, the better, because the worst thing is when someone says to you, "Oh my God, the steak carpaccio at that booth is amazing," and you go there at the end of the day and they're out.
Well, the word travels fast at the party
That's
as to
right.
what's really good.
The best places, I wouldn't say they sell out quickly, but
They're all showing off.
If you stumble there towards the end of the party, you might be disappointed. So get there semi early. There's obviously drinks and drink specials, but I'm a food. I hate the term foodie, but I am a foodie, and I just love to sample all the different food and just kind of go grazing from some stand to stand. And, because it's American Visionary Art Museum for the first time this year, obviously the setting.
Beautiful space.
The setting is amazing. I think it's an inspiring setting. And we have DJs and live music, and it's great people watching. Like, you kind of walk in and you're like, wow. Like,
I'm going to do my hair.
There's some beautiful people.
I'm going to let my hair out.
What are you going to let it down?
Yeah, I'm going to let it down.
And it's truly one of the coolest
Wow.
museums I've ever been inside.
Yeah.
And for people who have never been there, to have that sort of jewel in South Baltimore, I think, in the Federal Hill area is tremendous.
Yeah, AVAM is a
you
place.
Been AVAM?
I've been, my wife's a member. We've been over there a couple times.
I love that place.
And,
Rebecca,
and their museum store might be the best I've ever walked into.
well, Rebecca is a visionary, right? I mean, and her stepping down this year is a big thing. But I mean, she's left behind this place that, if you haven't been, you should go. It's what's great about Baltimore.
It's an incredible legacy, and I feel like for those people who have not been to the museum, if the first time that you go is for this party, you're going to want to come back and explore it during regular museum hours, because once you see this place once, and I think most people in Maryland have gone at this point, but if you have not, you're going to be like super stoked about what a amazing, inspiring, beautiful space it is, and the art, and anyway, so. Very excited about the party. Like you said, we didn't have one last year because of COVID.
The year I won,
which was
of course,
a bummer.
match.
Well, there's not some sort of ceremony. We don't actually have like a town crier who announces all the winners. The only thing that would have been different is you would have had a badge that said winner.
So
you can make a homemade
I want to tell a funny
and
story.
slap it on your shirt.
Can I tell a funny story?
Yes.
Were you at Baltimore Magazine in like 98 or 99?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I won one of those years. 97, 98, 99, I won Best of Baltimore. I think the picture is me holding it in front of like Memorial Stadium. So it's 96, 97.
Oh, we took a picture of you. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jim Duffy did a huge story on my outlandishness of Nasty Nestor and like this thing, right?
Jim.
So I went to the party. It was at Bo Hager's outdoor lot.
Yes.
The parking lot. It was outside.
Oh, that was hot. Hot.
You have your party on August 14th every
brutal,
year
brutal.
to honor, Elvis's death or whatever, August 16th. It's always a billion degrees. I always sweat through all my clothes. I did that down at the power plant. VIP there meant air conditioning.
Yeah.
You wonder why I want VIP? Because I want air conditioning, okay? So I'm walking through, and a man comes up to me. I'm going to call him older. He was older than me. I was freaking 28 or whatever.
Everybody
right?
was older than you.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not, 1996. And he comes up to me. And he sees my badge. And he says, "Excuse me, are you Nestor Aparicio? I see there that you're the best of Baltimore." And I said, "Yeah, hi. Hi, I'm Alan Prell. I've heard you're a real asshole."
Alan!
And then he walked away from me, and I never saw him again.
Was he kidding? I mean, he's funny. Look.
I didn't know. I just thought, that's different. That's
Okay.
different.
Should we tell people who Alan Prell is today?
Oh, yeah, he was a legendary morning radio guy in BAL forever.
And a very dear friend of mine.
And he had a funny voice.
The late, great. He did have a funny voice. That was a terrible Alan impression, but okay, you tried. Points for trying.
I didn't listen to BAL.
Yeah. A dear friend. And let me tell you, knowing Alan Prell as I do, and I know him quite well. I mean, he was sort of a father figure to me. He was giving you grief. I think that he was teasing you. I have a hard time believing you would just say that. And
That's my memory of winning. You said to me, the thing that triggered it, you said to me, it's not like we make a big deal of you or walk around. You just have a badge.
Right.
And I'm thinking, that's the last time I had the badge.
That's hilarious. Oh, God. Anyway, I miss my Uncle Ali. I mean, really one of the great radio talents in Baltimore.
It's a true story, though. You know it's true.
I know it's true, but I think that you misinterpreted it because I think he was giving you
I never met
a
him
word
any
I
other
can't
time.
say on the radio. But he was a very funny man.
It made me laugh
See?
to some...
Okay.
It really did make me... I'm not mad about it. I wasn't mad about it then. I just thought it was such a... I
very
know
out
him
of
from
character,
the radio.
probably for.
But I know him from the radio,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I knew his voice, and I didn't know what he looked like because
I love that.
he was on the radio.
I think that's...
How would I know what he looked like?
Can you... I mean, that's hilarious.
They didn't have.
Can you
that's why I
imagine
told the
somebody
story.
doing that? That's just... just
hilarious.
drop that bomb.
So the one time
and then
you
just
win,
keep walking.
you're there, you feel good about yourself.
Yep. Bring you right back to earth and then move
That's
on.
funny.
Max, I love you. Thanks for coming, being a part of this.
Oh, sure.
And I'm sorry I did. Here, if Moeller were here, he'd tell you to subscribe. So you want to give the subscription, tell everybody what's a much better deal to subscribe.
Yeah, I mean...
It doesn't affect your salary at all. Like that they're getting a discount. You don't get 72% less because they pay 72% less.
No, that would be bad. No.
Right.
So, the deal is if you buy 2 issues of Baltimore Magazine on the newsstand, and you know you do, it makes so much more sense to subscribe because it's $5.99 per issue, and you could subscribe for somewhere between $10 and $13, depending on what the discount is at this particular time. And then you get all 12 issues, plus our Game Changers issue, which is...
Which Game Changers?
Well, Well, that's an issue that we do every year that sort of celebrates the people who are giving back to Baltimore, who are bringing innovation
I want to win that.
and
All
philanthropy.
right, I'm done with best of. I want to be an innovator. Let's go.
Yeah, so
I have to make something.
So
up.
anyway,
I have to innovate something.
it's just really worth it to subscribe, and it helps me personally. So subscribe.
Yep.
And I need her for movie reviews.
Yeah. BaltimoreMagazine.com. You can read my movie reviews there as well. I'm not just running the magazine. I'm also writing movie reviews. I'm a full-service journalist here in Baltimore.
And I will say this, as someone who lived in Atlanta for several years, and my wife and I have been subscribers probably 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
This, to me, was a lifeline to home to let us know what was going on back here, the good, the bad, everything else. Give us places when we did visit up here to go to. Hey, we got to check this out. Hey, let's tear this out. We'll have this when we come up on a trip. So for someone who was an expat, this, to me, was a great lifeline to know what was going on in the city and know, kind of, hey, places to go, things to do, and here's what's going on in the city on top of it, on the journalism they were doing in the magazine. And I thought that was tremendous, for people here who love it because they're already here, but for people who aren't here all the time and subscribe to, I think it's great.
Yeah.
You plugged Jane doing a piece on crabbing a couple of years ago. I mean, she did a Waterman piece.
Lydia Wolliver.
Lydia,
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was sort of a basic primer for me to do all the crab cake tour stuff.
Yeah.
Because when I went out, I understood better. And I mean, Ron's great. And Ron comes on all the time. He was with us a couple weeks ago. Don't be mad that I got him the crab cake before I got you one.
Oh man, that is wrong.
You know
That
what's
is
weird?
a world of wrong.
You
How
and-
far do you and I go back?
There was a plague. You didn't want to. I wanted you
that's
to play the
probably
cello
true.
and stuff like that.
Right. Yes.
Are you ever going to play the cello for me?
Oh, I'll play. Yeah. Next time we do a Zoom, I'll get my cello and we'll.
You're not the musical entertainment at the best up party.
No.
Not this year. They got real talent.
The Bach cello suites just don't go over well at the Best of Baltimore party. I'd be in a room by myself.
First time I danced with my wife after she beat cancer was at
Yes.
your party.
Aw.
That was at the Hippodrome.
That's very
It was
sweet.
150 degrees in that room too.
Well, it's the summer.
So
band
what's
was laying
hotter,
down, though.
Artscape weekend or their party?
Well, our party is indoors now. I mean,
Well, when
that
you win
brief
Best of
period-
Baltimore, you get VIP, and then you get to go in the air conditioning.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Too much. Too much.
I love Max. Max Weiss, Baltimore Magazine. Subscribe, have fun, come to the Best of Baltimore party. I heard your crab party was a kicker too.
Yes. Also very, very hot.
I remember that part about it too.
Right, Sagamore. But that was a very good party, and this one will be even better.
All right, before you go,
Yeah.
favorite movie right now? What's the movie we need to see?
I like Marcel the Shell with shoes on very much.
This is for me.
I'm
Tough. You know this.
Here's what you need to do. Go online, watch some Marcel the Shell with shoes on videos because they're shorts. If you like the shorts, you will absolutely love the movie. But also, I will say the Top Gun movie is actually pretty good.
My wife loved it.
Nope is really good. Have you seen Nope? You don't know anything. So Nope is Jordan Peele's.
I'm going to cut that out and make it a drop. You don't know anything.
People have been saying that for years.
Because, I'm amazed you knew about Top Gun Maverick. But Top Gun Maverick is way better than
I
the
had the
original
stars of the
Top
movie
Gun.
on my show at the Super Bowl.
No, you did
And
not have Tom Cruise on your show.
Who did I have on the show? The girl and the guy in the movie.
Oh, the younger, yeah.
Give me their names. I had them.
Okay. Yeah, no, there are some younger people who...
Beautiful guys.
Because
That looks like Tom
that movie
Cruise.
was sitting on the shelf for like, what, 2.5
Yeah,
years?
it sat on the shelf, and
Yes.
they came by at the Super Bowl the week that Kobe Bryant died in Miami, the last Super Bowl that was sort of normal.
Wow.
And they did the show, and I admitted to them on the show that I had never seen Top Gun. And they were like...
Yeah, that's crazy.
There it is. Glenn Powell and Monica Barbaro.
Right.
Are they?
No, he's a handsome...
They're the ones, right?
They're the big stars. They're big stars.
All right.
They're not Tom Cruise, but they're big stars.
I didn't win Best of Radio Row, but they liked me. There it is right there. So
Okay,
you're giving me a hard time. I actually had them on the show.
Wow. Did they get crab cakes?
They were amused that I had never seen the original Top. And still haven't.
Right. There's literally nobody else your age who has not seen
My
the
wife
original
wanted
Top
to
Gun.
go. She went with her sister, but she was going to go to the motion one. You sit in the
IMAX?
theater
Oh,
and
okay.
Oh, God.
you move.
Yeah, no.
No, I was going to ask if that would be for you.
That's not for me, no.
A movie's a movie. It's not a.
It's not an
airplane
amusement
ride.
park ride.
Right,
Yes,
okay.
exactly.
All right.
But that's very good.
Nope.
Again, Marcel
Nope
the
is the name
Shell.
of the movie?
Nope is a very good sort of
Okay.
a horror, sci-fi comedy. It'll kind of blow your mind. And if you like indie films, there's an amazing movie called Fire of Love, which I think is playing at the Charles Theater right now. And it's about these two volcano experts who fell in love, and they went all over the world chasing volcanoes, and they would film them and photograph them, and there's all of this documentary footage. So it's a story about this unique married couple. It's kind of like a love story, and it's a nature documentary that is awesome because they got closer to volcanoes than they should have. Let's just leave it at that. And it's stunning. You're overwhelmed by the power of nature when you watch it, and you're fascinated by this couple that is so obsessed with this task. And so that's called Fire of Love. So yeah, those are the ones I recommend. Fire of Love, Nope, Top Gun Maverick, and Marcel.
Are you still a theater goer, not a home watching?
I do both.
You do both. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I actually prefer when they send me a movie screener that I can watch at home. It just makes my life easier.
Right, because you don't have to make
but
plans.
you know,
right.
if given the choice, it's always better to see a movie in the theater because you get that quality of just focusing your attention and the big screen and the surround sound and shutting out everything. You're not looking at your phone. You're just like totally focused. So it's always ideal to watch a movie in a theater. But for me as a critic, when like reviewing is your job, sometimes just the convenience factor of when they send me a screener and I can watch it and I can take notes in the light. The funny thing is when I take notes in the dark, I get home and I have no idea what I've written. I've written on top of other things, and it's just absolute chicken scratch that I wrote in the dark that I was sure I was going to be able to interpret when I got home, and I have no idea what I've written. So, when you're watching it in your kitchen or whatever, you can take notes in the light.
That's interesting, watching a movie and taking notes. I've never thought, that's the way you do it.
You got to.
I mean, if it were my job,
Yeah.
when I was at concerts, I took notes. I
Yeah,
had like reviewing things. Max is the best at what she does. She's the editor-in-chief at Baltimore Magazine, and congrats to Sam Sessa. You get beat by the best, you take your licking. I tip my cap to Sam Sessa. Chris Pike is my pal. Has been my pal for a long time. Crab cake, Les, but I'll get you a crab cake.
Okay.
She insisted.
I did. I insisted. I mean,
I'm going to break and you can go eat it.
I live in the Roland Park area. I schlepped out to LP Steamers. I am getting a crab cake.
I love her. She's fresh. I promoted the magazine.
You did, thank you.
I won Best of Baltimore, and I didn't even get to go to the party. I already said that. So
Yeah,
I
we'll
love
get you a
Max.
T-shirt. I won.
I don't want that.
I won Best of Baltimore.
Alan Prell loves me.
2021. All I got was
The
this
Alan
love.
Prell Memorial Award.
I like that.
Next year. Max is here. Chris is here. We're back for more. We are at Baltimore Magazine Central Headquarters here. We're at LP Steamers. We're down at Locust Point. It's all brought to you by our friends at the Maryland Lottery, Goodwill, Window Nation, and the Restaurant Association of Maryland, reminding you Restaurant Week is September 16th to 25th. It's good. Get on down to LP Steamers. We got more ahead. Stay with us.